two X Division 1 teams. Can they climb themselves back into Division?
Well, we'll find out. But before that, of course, T-Panda, we've got to give a shout out to our people at esportsbet.io. They've just launched an exciting new feature that you don't want to miss out on. Of course, their brand new Watch to Earn platform. You can now earn 3,000 free tokens, which is approximately $3 USD per hour, by simply watching your favorite Dota 2 matches on esportsbet.io. You did hear that right. You can earn tokens by watching the matches you love without even placing a bet. It's really that simple, and best of all, it is free. So esportsbet.io is committed to providing our users with the best possible experience, and we're excited to offer this new way for you to earn tokens and engage with the Dota 2 community. So what are you waiting for? Head over to esportsbet.io and start watching and earn your tokens for free and exclusive bonuses. Can't get the words together today, T-Panda, but nevertheless, we've got a hype series on our hands. And as you can see, the odds are favoring the side of Team Secret, 1.30 to, I believe, 3 point something for ITB. So already Secret looking to be the heavy favorites going into this matchup. Do you feel like those odds are fair, or do you feel like ITB have a better chance in this matchup?
I feel like, yeah, like this is justified in a sense for the side of Secret. They 2-0'd them last time in the first division. Unfortunately, it was one win, and the same thing for ITB. They also just had one win. It wasn't enough to keep themselves in a potential tiebreaker situation, to keep themselves in the division, just straight up out, you know. And they were like, yeah, we're not going to play a tiebreaker for $1,000. But for Secret, I think they can't be happier with anything else than just a pure victory. If ITB is able to snatch that away, I think we could potentially talk about an upset here.
Let's see what happens. I mean, the draft is going to get underway. Very, very excited to see what these drafts are going to look like. Of course, love seeing Coach Heen there right in front of old Armel. I mean, you're probably going to hear me say this name multiple times throughout the night. You know, it's been a while since I've had the pleasure of saying Armel's name, so you got to excuse me, Mr.
It's understandable.
It's like you and Enigma, you know? You always end up fitting Enigma somehow into the conversation, and I'm sure you're going to find a way to fit Enigma into this this draft panel that we're having right now. I just can't help myself. I really can't.
I mean, I can't help myself. Yeah. I understand like that fact, but I'll try to restrain myself unless we do see an Enigma pick come out. You know, Rubik's Band, Disruptor's also taken out. These heroes getting a lot of respect in the first phase. And I'm actually looking at, you know, like Pugna getting banned first phase, DK. I feel like there's some kind of potential strats that they've been maybe playing out in potential scrims. Because I don't actually see more than just Yamech, who has been playing one game on Pugna, probably was a difficulty to answer against. But this DK just literally speaks to like volumes about somebody loves this DK so much that it is kind of hard to deal with. Usually you find answers, you find counters, you find gameplay counters, and you don't want to stretch the game too far against the DK in general. So you left Furion, you left Brood in the pool. Brood getting first pick by Secret, I feel like it's kind of a no-brainer in a sense. So it's just down to ITB. Like, how do they shut this down? Naga is one answer to it, where you can survive the lane. You can brawl back a little bit. You don't worry about the Brood anymore once you've scaled into towards like stats items with Scotty. Potentially, if it's a game for that, Heart. Brood just isn't an issue for the Naga anymore at that point.
Certainly is not. They'll go into the Snapfire right after that for ITB. I was going to say as well, like, I know we're in this kind of aura meta right now, so it just still surprises me that we see Broodmother popping up. But this hero, no matter how much you nerf it at the moment, it just seems so potent. Like, no matter what, you get this Guardian Greaves Rush, and it feels like it doesn't matter what hero you're playing. If you buy the Guardian Greaves, you're going to be a happy man. And Team Secret, obviously, just wanting to run this kind of rattier pick. I mean, against the Naga, like, the Naga's going to have a decent enough time, won't care for it, like you kind of already mentioned, but this hero just seems still so potent.
Brood has its perks. Like, you hit your timings fairly early. You're great at level 2, level 3, fighting in the lane. The slowing tool just enabling you to take out all these squishier supports. I think once you see the Snapfire come out, you know that you've got some way to fight against the spiders. You've got plenty of AoE damage coming in. I was like, do they go for a potential silencer counter against the Snapfire to break out the Mortimer's Kisses with Global Silence? But they opt to go for the Primal Beast instead. Now that you look at both Primal and Brood in the same lineup, potentially, you know, We talked about your boy Armel. He does like to play that mid Primal Beast, but does Yamich want to bring it out as a 4? It is a flex pick, but does look a bit like Armel Primal to me, even though he doesn't know the matchup yet.
I mean, the guy's like super versatile, right? Like you kind of already said it, so it could be either. It is certainly a flex pick here for Team Secret. And this hero in particular, like I remember when Primal Beast first came out, and I was just like, what the hell is this? Like this covers literally all bases. The hero can farm, push creep waves, has mobility. Like, what's it lacking? It has a stun. I guess it doesn't have a silence on the brighter side. Like, maybe that's a good thing. Yeah. It's just this hero is completely ridiculous. And yeah, I mean, it just covers all bases. It just doesn't matter what position you put Primal Beast in right now. It just works no matter what. It just fits the role it needs to. And I do appreciate it. Just Team Secret taking it for themselves. Like you said, Armel could take it. They could run a pos 4. Hell, I mean, you know, why don't we say T-Panda, they could just run a pos 5 if they really want. I'm sure Puppy wants to play it at some point, just to have a bit of fun.
It is a fun hero to play for sure. I maybe would detest the idea of playing it as a 5 because, you know, the role you play as a 5 is you basically sacrifice your experience gain most of the time. You have to have a hero that is able to brawl against the enemy 4. In this case, it could just be the Snapfire. You're potentially going to lose that matchup, right? Snaps, even with the low right-click damage that Granny has, you're going to spend a lot of time just dodging and avoiding. You also have the Cookie to play against, so it counters the trample. You won't be able to get the trample damage out. And if, like, some of the weaknesses of Primal Beast is potentially, like, 1 or 2 heroes that's just directly countered. Look at the Clockwork, for example, which is a straight-up ban for Team Secret. Makes a lot of sense. And this hero just doesn't hit buildings, really, right? Like, even if you build up Roar early, or up Roar pretty early into the laning stage, like level 1, level 2, you get that extra right-click damage buff, yeah. But it's not your traditional, I will push the lane to hit the objective, right? I need to use the creep wave to utilize that. Trample helps with that, where you can cut the waves, farm yourself up with the easy camp, but Brood wants to do the same thing, right? Like, Brood also needs all the extra farm you can pick up, leaving this Primal only just to live off with experience, right? And he really needs that early on, too.
But he does. Earthshaker now coming out from ITB. I don't mind the Shaker. Like, you're against the Broodmother, so obviously extra value for the Earthshaker. Great against the Primal Beast as well. Easy way to kind of cancel off the Onslaught, cancel off the Pulverize from a long distance with the Fissure. Has the hero been as popular as it was a few years ago? Not really. But it kind of fits the bill. Like, in this draft against Primal Broodmother, it just makes more than enough sense. And if it's a great roaming hero as well, right? Like, you can roam really well, just secure water runes, secure power runes with this hero, as Team Secret are going to return with a Monkey King, which is obviously a Chrysalis special. But I don't mind the Earthshaker here, Mr. Pan. I think it kind of fits very well.
Well, Mr. Mike, that is basically the second counter alongside this Clockwork, long-range stun, a zoning tool versus the Primal Beast. As you said, bit of a early game counter to the Broodmother, Echo Slam damage, of course. But you've got a hero that plays around with the Snapfire now. You're able to utilize the Mortimer's Kisses damage. It makes the game a bit easier for the Naga too, since you've got the Naga song and you have a lot of team fights set up alongside that, or even follow-up, let's put it that way. You can engage, you counter-initiate, you can re-engage a lot. The only downside for ITB right now is basically once you've used your abilities, you do have like this 10 to 15 second period of not being able to cast abilities, right? Shaker only has Enchant Totem and the Aftershock that you utilize, where the Monkey King can just dish out damage the whole time. So if Secret, they can tank the early initiation from ITB's lineup so far, they will have an opening. And now you add up the Dazzle. You have a Hex tool. You can break out potential teleports after the first 15 minutes once you've picked up the shard. You want to get that early. That is, of course, as well, one of the Puppy classics, seeing the Dazzle come out. I would love to see a core Dazzle, you know. You saw my interpretation of the Dazzleator, but we're probably not going to get that.
I did. Hopefully I'll never have to see that impersonation again. Thank you very much, Mr. T Panda. I do like it, though. Like, the Dazzle, especially against the Naga, right? Because when you get the shards up, you just hex the mirror images and they all just get deleted immediately. which is really nice because you don't have to worry about the Naga illusions whatsoever. They just die immediately as you poison touch them. So it does feel quite nice in this matchup. As well as that, I think Dazzle against all the heroes that ITB have picked already is quite strong. Like just during the lanes, the Snapfire Shaker, well, especially the Shaker, considering it should be position 4, can't really do anything in the way of harassing this Dazzle. Like the laning stage is going to be hellish. So I think it's a great pick for Team Secret. And again, I think the main value is the fact that these mirror images, they're just not going to survive.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, of course, the laning stage is going to be a bit different with this Dazzle in the field. But like you said, you've got the Naga illusion counter. You can break out channels. You keep the Shaker at bay. It also allows you to keep this Monkey King alive a little bit longer, especially when you go for the full commit team fight, right? You want to get Wukong's command out. You got to make sure that this Monkey King has 1, targets to hit, 2, to survive a long fight, and that is especially if the Naga engages. So you've got Shallow Grave, you can keep up the Monkey King alive a little bit longer, enable him to get those Jingu stacks so he can start building up into his own lifesteal, plus the healing from this Dazzle. But as you see the Monkey King and the Brood on the field, it's like, we're just going to go straight up, beat up this laning stage. We go for the Viper pick. It makes a lot of sense. Viper, especially versus the Monkey King. That's not a fun lane to play as an MK for sure. You're just gonna get bullied a lot, and then you have to break to prevent those Jingu stacks from going up if you're able to isolate the Monkey King in the fights.
Yeah, it's really a great pick here from ITB. Like even with the Dazzle Pos 5, like you're not going to be able to lane very well against this Viper. You hit that level 3 mark as Viper, and suddenly the lane starts to feel rather impossible. So I'm wholeheartedly expecting some pulls to happen, just to try and just do creep shenanigans, as we talk about when we're doing NA Div 1, right? Just make creeps go all over the map. Just, mess up the lanes a little bit. Don't put yourself in a position where you have to go against this Viper during the laning stage. The only issue being, though, is you're against an Earthshaker who can really quickly stop you from doing that. So it's going to be a little bit rough to run those creep shenanigans throughout this safe lane of Team Secret. So I really appreciate this Viper pickup. And the combo with the Shaker, like it is quite strong. It's not too hard to get a Fissure block on somebody and just allow the Viper to poison attack them until they die.
That is true. Yeah, the Viper allows you to brawl a little bit more, where the Shaker, not necessarily the greatest at potentially contesting and fighting back. He's somewhat limited with armor. He is still in the end a strength hero that does have a decent amount of base HP to work with, but on the other end, you are going to be receiving a lot of hits from this Dazzle, especially if played in the off lane, unless you're putting like Naga Shaker dual lane and just go straight up, let's shut down this Monkey King and play Snapfire with the Viper, which in my eyes, if you really want to win that lane, that's a good idea to put them. Like put the Snap with the Viper, just destroy one lane. You are, however, sacking the Naga's game at that point because you're up against the Brood, the potential Primal Beast, which is still being flexed to this point. They're banning out the Pangos, for example, where you like, if they make a rotation with Orb of Corrosion Pango, for example, you do a lot of extra damage. And all of this physical damage minus armor that Team Secret has going for them right now is difficult for the Naga to survive in the lane. And that looks like we're going to get an Abaddon to clean out the draft for Team Secret, meaning that we might potentially see a bit of a flex here with this Monkey King potentially. Could be going mid, could be 4, and carry Abaddon to go with it.
I like the Abaddon. I think it fits very nicely. Like against the Viper, you're not going to be as concerned. I am still very curious as to what position all these heroes are going into, though. I don't think it's very clear cut here for Secret. So I'm gonna hold my guesses here. I'm just gonna wait to see what Team Secret do pick up on their players. We'll see exactly what they're up to. At the very least, though, you have a nice purge now for the Viper. So, it gives you a way to fight back. And you were correct. It is going to be a position 1 Abaddon. Looks like Yamich is going to take the Monkey King. So Armel is going to be on that mid Primal Beast. You've been making very good predictions here today, Mr. T Panda. Very, very good.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I was thinking about that. Like the Monkey King looked like, you got like 2 potential Armel heroes on the field with the MK and the Primal Beast. So I was thinking, as I saw that Abaddon come out, or the Abaddon, however you want to pronunciate it, it's like, that has to be a carry. Like, I don't think we're seeing the 3 Abaddon in this meta. It was a thing of the past, but I feel like now it's just put straight up into the carry role. You build up Radiance, you go for the Manta, this is the one that is being played right now. And they have a formidable lineup on the side of Secret, but I do like this puck pick coming out from the side of ITB because it is going to work against Armel's Primal Beast. You have a laning matchup where you're going to be all right. You have a zoning tool. You have an escape tool, which means that you just won't get heavily punished by the Primal Beast, at least in the laning stage. So you still have a hero able to rotate, able to snowball, and able to play out the game and save those side lanes. But you got to look at these early rotations a lot from these two mid players.
I can't wait to see how this one breaks out. I mean, game one here between these two teams should be a real banger of a match, I do believe here. And the drafts are very intriguing as well. T-Panda, I ask every analyst, I like to put you guys on the spot. So would you mind telling me, out of these two drafts, who do you think came out on top?
Came out on top. I mean, there's a lot of ingenuity on the side of Team Secret. You know, it's not just the Brood pick, but the Monkey King support, the Abaddon carry, and Armel, of course. Like, I've seen this Primal Beast play out so many times where I see different types of mid players play this out. Sometimes they have great performances. Sometimes they feel a bit stale. I feel like Secret maybe has a bit of an advantage over ITB, but during the course of this draft, there were good answers from ITB. It's like, well, we're kind of on point of what you're looking to play these heroes at. Which lanes are you going to be looking at? Like, they had a clean idea how they want to execute it. But I'd still give them like a 65-35, maybe 60-40 on the side of Secret. So it's not like a outdraft in my eyes, but it is definitely looking a little bit more stable. You have more tools to live with. But this is also like, if the Broodmother doesn't have a good lane versus the Naga, which can also happen, you are letting this Naga get into this game, and that might be an issue for Secret.
See how it goes. Again, game one should be very, very intriguing here between these two teams. Kind of sets the pace of the whole series as already Immersion being chased out here on the Earthshaker. He's in the middle of nowhere. Yamich is going to keep the vision up, and there's surely no way out for him. Is Armel even showing up? Just a matter of who you want to give first blood to. Does Armel want to go for the onslaught level 1? Looks like Yamich instead will just take the kill. So they're just happy to secure the first blood. Yamich will hand the tip over to Immersion straight away, as you naturally do. And that's already a really strong start.
Secret's happy with that. They had a 3-man rotation for the first blood, still getting 2 out of the 4 bounties. So you're pretty happy with first blood, the gold being exchanged pretty evenly between the two teams. And now you just roll out with your laning stage with a Monkey King picking up first blood. I think that's a good hero to also have it on. Of course, the best situation would be let your mid have it. Get that earlier bottle timing, potentially faster foods. Just like the things that you just benefit so much more from. But if you have it like on a Monkey King, potentially we might see Yamish just bring more regen for the lane. You know you're going to be up against, well, in this case, it is a snap 5. So they did do the smart decision of let's not sack this Naga lane completely, but have a range support who's able to brawl back and even the scales a little bit.
Really can't wait to see how all this goes. Like, mid lane's the one I'm really keeping an eye on here, because it does feel like Supreme should have somewhat an advantage right on this puck. Like, not only in terms of CSing, but just the harassment game here onto Armel. The Armel is currently top of the CS board in the Primal Beast's bottom lane. They do get a little bit aggressive here onto Boom, but he's able to kind of close the gap. And this is another lane where I feel like you were saying already, the Naga shouldn't really have too many issues against this Broodmother.
Thing is, I had a question for you, Mike. Are you how heavily biased are you towards Armel and the SEA? Like,
I'm not that biased. Come on now. Come on now. We'll let the bias go, at least for now. Maybe if he wins, then I'll start the bias in the interview or something.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure about that, because I know you're SEA boys. I was actually when I was casting, like, let's say Pro Series the course of last year, I did do a couple SEA events, and I was like, man, it's actually a super competitive region with a lot of great teams coming out and getting to witness, you know, the likes of Armel, the mid matchups that he had to play up against and stuff. And it's like, yeah, you're in for a good time when you watch this guy play.
Yeah, absolutely. You said it, not me. I don't want people getting upset too early with me. I mean, I haven't been in Western Europe for a long time, so we'll hold the bias for a bit later on. Still, I mean, ITB, I'd love to see these guys pull off a victory here against Secret as well. It'd be a huge deal for them here for Division 2. So far, the lanes are pretty evenly matched. Chrysalis is having a much better time than I think one would expect. Currently 12-5 in terms of CS on the Abaddon. Having a really darn good time. And they are just kind of avoiding the lane matchup altogether. Like, Puppy's just pulling small camp, Immersion's trying to pull the creep wave back to wave the Viper. But Puppy's going to be very annoying with the poison touch, just not allowing to do so without taking a hell of a lot of harassment. Nice little cheeky block there from Immersion. Trying to fight over the 3-minute bounty rune timing. He will be able to pick it up. This is kind of the thing for the Earthshaker, right? In this kind of lane, he doesn't have much to do. So he's going to find other things across the map to actually get done. And, well, he's just being a bit of a nuisance now. Just kind of making Puppy chase him around the map.
Yeah, that is the thing, right? Like, he's forcing the attention away, basically, for this Viper to just duel up against the Abaddon, making sure you're going to get that farm on your core, Crystallis, even though he doesn't get too much about this this lane tranquility. Like we saw, the creep wave was pulled behind the tier 1 tower, but the Shaker's making sure that Puppy's never going to get a pull out, right? Like, he spent 2 sentries already in this top half of the map trying to get that easy camp open, and he's still running around just blocking camps because, like we said, he's not going to win a duel versus this Dazzle ever. Like, he's just going to be taking hits, so might as well use that time efficiently, force him onto you the whole time and see what you can pull out. And he's been blocking creep waves, he's been blocking camps, keeping him on the move. Like, Puppy, of course, is dealing a decent amount of damage onto the Shaker, but might actually even get a kill.
Yeah, he may. Puppy's slowed him down so much here. Oh, one more hit would have done it. I don't believe he's dead. He's barely okay, but I think one more right click would have done the job. And that bonus armor he got from the tower, though, really did save him.
A big difference maker as well. Puppy did get the boots of speed, so he's keeping up to the movement speed of the Shaker. But 360 versus 350. One more right click would have actually given them a second kill, and that would have given a lot of experience for Dazzle as well. Could have gotten that level 2. You get that extra nuke in case, like, just rotate to the lane, maybe try to deal some extra harass onto the Abaddon. But right now it's just, you know, a farming lane in top. Both of the cores are going to be happy with what's going on right now. Neither is getting an actual advantage over the other. Of course, the Viper would love to be more aggressive, but you do that through levels. Bottom lane, though.
Yeah, bottom lane, they're going to try and make a jump in. Respect in some danger. Boom, going to try and chase them down. The Yamich is dropping rather low himself right now on the Monkey King, so he's actually the one to drop. Otaka able to pick up the kill. Boom, I mean, they were trying their best to trade something, but it is very hard in this lane to actually get any form of an advantage here for the side of Secret.
You got a lot of lockdown on these two heroes, like the extra ensnare into the cookie stun. You should always get a guaranteed combination onto the enemy hero. And now that you have the illusions with the Riptide, it's just so much damage. We see the combo come out once again at bottom. Boom might just be dead.
Yeah, Boom.
All right, he's going
to be okay. Mr. Panda, I'd hate to leave early, but I do have to attend something else very, very quickly. So enjoy doing some play-by-play for the viewers.
That is completely fine. Well, I'll be taking over. Thank God we have 2 play-by-play casters in the studio. So that is basically, you know, just us looking at the ITB and Secret here, and potentially, can they get a kill onto Boom? This time looks like around it's going to be possible. Armel coming into the rotation, looking for Otakar and Respect, but they're able to juke it for the time being. Pulverize comes up for Armel as he is already level 6, hits level 7 with that kill, and punishing the Naga at least for one time. Actually building up into a pretty good game for this Primal Beast if he's able to get these early kills. Especially, the plan was to get this Primal Beast early active. So this is one of the moves to make, and especially getting a kill onto the Naga. That is pretty huge. CS, however, at least in terms for Crystallis, is going to start working his way towards the Radiance. That cheeky magic wand in between as well. But mid lane, though, they are going to go for a bit of a dive here, attempting to do some damage onto Supreme, but Immersion, he's got that visual ready. We'll go for the block onto the Primal Beast. Cookie stun to follow up as well. The Grave's going to buy some time. Is Armel going to be tanky enough? Pops the Uproar. Bottle Charge is not going to be enough. Supreme going to go for the snipe. And Puppy has to back away from the situation. He's done all he can to try and save his Primal Beast, but Supreme comes out strong with that support rotation coming into the mid lane. And especially since the Naga is kind of fine with what's happening. Brood is just farming up. Naga getting some time to hit some creeps with all the supports moving into mid. Might as well just make a move onto the Primal Beast, get a kill, and she's still happy with the trade that's happening. Looking for a bit of campy stacks as well. Immersion, trying to get a beefy set of jungle stacks for this Naga. We're going to need a lot of time on his hands this game, but Respect going to get hit by the Boundless Strike. Carmel going to grab it with the Pulverize. Should be a very dead Snapfire to me. Going to pick up the Jingu stacks as well for the extra damage, and that is going to seal out the kill. If he didn't have it, might have been a Snapfire walking away, but Armel following up with the extra damage, and Yamich solved the second kill of the game. Sibe up for crystals, but he is level 7 and already picked up borrowed time, so going to be much of an opportunity to take him down. This Abaddon is going to be really hard to kill. Momentary calm phase in the game. Just going to be waiting for those next item timings. Boom also wants to make a move towards the tower as he's already hit level 7 on the Brood. Pressure. More stacks. Look like Xibe might be the one to get at least a couple CS in his name. So if you are wondering, Mike had... you know, he had to go, but don't worry, I won't be leaving you, fellow viewers. You guys entertained, don't worry. We're not leaving you alone. 2k lead for Secret pretty early on. This Abaddon just free farming Armel, despite getting killed once. I feel like he's going to be hindered too much about it, but he needs to get to that BKB timing. And as they smoke up with Puppy and Armel, Green is going to be a very, very tough catch. Potentially just going to invade the straight-up jungle here. Version's going to be spotted, and that is going to bury Dead Shaker. Now getting the full damage combination out, and with the help of that Haste Rune, he will get some extra poke in as well onto Supreme. Supreme forced away. Does have the coil available. Respect, however, he's level 4 on the Snapfire. No more of these available. If they did, they could potentially try something with the Dream Coil combined with Mortimer's Kisses. Forge being XP starved and talking about experience. Puppy's still level 3. He's spending most of his time just running around the map, you know, trying to help out his buddies. Not really too much action going on. And all the fights that are happening, he feels like he's just, you know, not strong enough. So he's just going to throw out the casual shallow grave, maybe put himself in peril as he does make those moves. With experience, it is going to get help. It is going to get better for this Dazzle. Smoke towards the bottom lane. Supreme and Respect joining Audiker. Potentially looking for a kill onto Boom, who's currently just hiding in the tree line. Feels like he's got information about this. A lot of heroes missing in the lanes. Don't want to make a false move and show yourself. So that smoke dodged and
Spider, mate.
Hey, that's a crikey co-caster we got here. Hello, Blizzard.
It's a crikey Spider, mate. How you doing?
Hi. I'm doing quite good here. You know, we had a bit of a solo fast session here, but it seems like we have Blizzard taking over. How you doing, dude?
Ah, doing fine, doing fine. I literally woke up 30 minutes ago.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's the NA life, you know, NA schedule.
Yeah, I know all about that.
Yeah, you understand it very well. What's happening, by the way, in the game so far? How's it going? I was watching the draft a little bit, and I noticed that they switcherooed the Abaddon.
Yeah, so they basically just went for a carry last pick. They were like, well, we can flex the Monkey and the Primal Beast. Abaddon's basically just been free farming. Crystallis enjoying this game. You know, 83 last hits in 12 minutes. You've also got a decent game coming up for Armel, finding a couple kills. And Boom is also free farming on the Brood. So technically, the only hero on the side of ITB that has been uncontested is Puck. And they're 5k behind because of it too. Like, oh yeah. Actually, look at Yamich's net worth. This guy is at almost 4,000 net worth. He's almost catching up to the Viper.
Yeah, so the Monkey... I could see it, like, during the draft, they picked this Monkey very early, and you have Crystallis on your squad, right? Like, Team Secret. I know, like, hello chat, by the way. I'm sure that the only people in the chat right now are die-hard Secret fanboys.
Pretty much.
So all of you do know that this guy, if he can play Monkey, he's gonna play it. So it's a nice debate from Secret. They pick the Monkey, they switch on position 4, they pick Abaddon, who's amazing, by the way, I think in this. I'm not sure, let's see like later on what Chrysalis does. Looks like a really nice Abaddon Radiance game. You're playing versus a Naga. She hates playing versus these Radiance boys. So yeah, it looks decent and a good start from them so far.
We've got a lot of good answers, like the Soul with the Shard, we destroy the illusions. Played as Primal Beast, being played as a core, very tanky, very beefy, giving that extra buff up for the Abaddon. They just have a lot of frontline presence. And they have good answers to all the heroes on the side of ITB, and likewise ITB. I feel like they have a timing heroes like the Earthshaker. I feel like if you're looking at Shaker as a brood counter, you will not necessarily destroy the brood later on in the game. Greaves, but then Pipe. Like Echo Slam is no longer like I'm gonna blow up this brood, right?
Shaker is big brood. This was a Viper offlane, right?
Yes, it was.
That's the reason.
A lot of lane shenanigans.
Yeah, so that's the reason why they picked her. You get the Viper, you have some position 4 that can block the waves, help him out a little bit. He's not really the best laner, so makes sense that picked him. But later on in the game, Echo is always nice, right? Like you always want to see that one big bad Echo. No matter what, maybe the brood forgets, you know. It can happen.
Comes in mid. They're gonna jump the Monkey King here. Boundless. Have that DD on the puck pushing the tower, but Armel is gonna charge in. They will look for the Shaker kill instantaneously. It's just going to be one big kickoff, but the puck now, Room makes a rotation to mid 2, and they could kill potentially either the snap or the puck, but the Pulverize does connect, and they will look for the puck kill. Phase shift is available, and the Illusory Orb as well, able to jump away from Boom, but they are going to convert into a tower.
I was going to say, it does look like a free puck game, more or less, until Dazzle has a shard. And it does look that way, but I'm not so sure. Like, I've seen this matchup Primal into these spirits, these pucks. And usually what happens is he finds a way to get on top of you. He still finds a way to use a Pulverize on you, and then you feed. You know, it doesn't really matter that you're very elusive. Like, this giant beast still catches up. A horror movie, man. Get me out.
It is kind of, yeah.
Did you play Evolve ever?
Oh, I've heard of the name, but I haven't actually.
I think that's the name of it. It's basically like 4 versus 1. Like you're playing versus this one beast, and his job is to kill all of you on a big map. And he evolves over time, like gets stronger and stronger. So you need to get him as fast as possible. Basically, that's Primal Beast, like the ultimate 1v4. Get in. Use Pulverize.
That is true. Yeah, and when you think about it, that is true because his scaling to 25, like Magic Piercing, Pulverize, the itemization that you build up is like you worry about him early on because he's got like the biggest mobility compared to most of the heroes at like level 1, level 2 slot. Go into BKB. Oh, that's another issue we have to address. Do we have the damage to kill him after or before, or even during as he charges in? And then you can still be this big, effective, big beast that you are, like later into the game.
I love how you say beast.
I would have put more emphasis on it.
That's great. It's perfect. It's perfect. Who's gonna be the big beast tonight?
On ITB, yeah. You know, like we always talk about the Naga, which is kind of like, is this going to be dead net worth, right? A lot of farm, but no impact. So
he's gonna get maybe less impact. Never mind. Sleep.
That's a it's a good read onto the onslaught charge. You hear the roar come out. Your song.
He didn't BKB. He's got it. Could have arguably used it, but what are the chances they kill her there? Like very minimal, right?
And you've got to force out, like, they have all TPs available. They could have just shown up in force, and you're like, okay, I used to be BKB, and we lose 3 here. So.
I love how Yamich is showing something, like, all these snacks, they're giving players bonuses. It's like, what's his name? Whitemon as well.
Whitemon, yeah.
The snack mat.
Sure.
Are we waiting for a big item? what's going on? Let me see. Like there's I only have the PGM, so I'm not in game, obviously. Later, but
It's all right. Well, I mean, we've got Puck with Blink going through some battles. However, Armel's just going to take down Respect, and Naga needs a bit more time. Naga getting all these kills would also be a cream. However, will snatch it first. Damn, you don't really want to hold on to that force that you have. Crystallis. Kill this.
Yeah, I didn't see anything big. Like even the Orchid on Naga, I'm thinking, yeah, you got the Orchid, but you're still playing into this man.
Yep. Oh.
You're playing
They
into
did try to burst the app.
their heroes.
Okay, that was a bit of. But after you were talking about Primal Beast, you know, versus Puck, you gotta wait. Sure.
It's stupid. Like Puck is supposed to be his ever elusive hero, and then he gets caught by this massive. No, where Yamich is.
Location's top. You know, there's no Naga song. Wait, he can't teleport. Okay.
Okay, like even the fact that 19 minutes in, Secret are still holding on to this tier 1 tower on top lane. Otker trying to cut the right tree. Wrong. Wrong.
No.
Trump is in. Wrong. Rent free.
Ding dong.
Yeah, like 8K ahead on Secret. This is massive.
Oh, Armel just walked into a gang squad. That's going to be a lot of heroes showing up for Armel. Oh, he's been awoken from a very, very angry Oil as well, trying to take down Crystallis. Maybe Puppy's Dazzle on the side, but Immersion's going to be a lot of damage. Yamich is also down Secret. They're going to end up losing more heroes than they signed up for.
Okay.
And that's going to be the ulti pop on the Abaddon, trying to make a run for it. Crystallis being chased. Otker, a couple more seconds for the ensnare. Puck is also on the front. They're going to use the song.
Surround.
Real punishment.
Okay, that 8K just half. It's 4K now. Maybe even Rush. So maybe
There's
even
gonna be more.
Yeah. Very, very nicely done by Armel, running uphill without vision. Just get casting, but it happens.
We have a term for that. We talk about power fantasy when you're like, you're strongest in this game right now.
Oh, look at that. Boom.
Okay.
What up? Wrong neighborhood, bro. And then they
and that sparked off a chain of events.
It did. One after another, they run in like this Dreamfall, catching both Crystallis and I feel like that really hurt them. Brood completely controlled on the side. Immersion just destroys the spiders, so they don't do much. They leave the best. The Brood does survive. No, you can't be like if you're a Secret, you just had such a lead, you threw it away super hard, and you do need a man down. I feel like that he needs that to start.
I feel like you gave that lead away a bit too easily. Way too. It's like you already lost your Primal Beast, but I guess still make the call like, yeah, let's fight, let's go. It didn't pay off. A lot of heroes. Primal Beast, it's ready. Oh, double Ogre Club here. Wait, he's got 2 Ogre Axes.
Trying to buy a BKB maybe, and
he already has BKB. He was trying to build Ag. He's missed out on an item.
The hero is big. He's not very small. That's what Primal Beast is. Primal, he needs Ogre Axe, more strength. Let's go.
And he's got a plenty of that, and this Viper looks like he's gonna go down straight away. But the Naga Siren TP has been capped by Yamich. He's not gonna be running away. They know this is a guaranteed kill, so they will follow it up with the Jukes. The Jukes for now. No throwing blade off the Siren ends up getting caught. Big.
That's my kind of hero, you know. More strength. No int needed. Big boy. Let's go. Yeah, you see, like.
Old Spice commercial.
Of course.
You remember the one where Terry Crews, where his brain goes out and he's like, this was a powerful mistake.
But then again, my memory isn't that great. I can't.
Oh, you should watch that during the break because I think that's also like you got all this muscle but you don't have brain, and it's like that was a powerful mistake.
I'll probably watch it for, you know, maybe I'll recall it this. Anyway, they get that Naga. That was a pretty big. She was on top charts, still kind of. You actually get killed her. It's one of those things. He was TPing way too close to. You're TPing from the trees, but you have to remember, bro. You have a monkey. Yeah, that's the mystery of two older axes. So
There's a
Poirot.
spider configs running around all over the place. A lot of vision fighted, so no ITBs. Don't want to take the straight up fight under a ward position. Now ITB are going to go for smoke instead.
Hello, boom.
See how. Them out. Fired. Show himself in mid. And Brute actually getting caught. Is this just a bait? Armel charging in. Echo Sign comes out as well. Only does a decent amount of damage onto the Brute, but not enough. And ITB, they're going to drop the ball on this one. They jumped for the bait, but you have been baited, sir. Secret, they take 2 kills, and looks like they're going to go straight to Roche.
Straight into the pit. There's no echo as well. Nice attempt from the Earthshaker to echo while the Primal was charging in. Armel on point, and that was such a obvious bait. I'm surprised. ITB. It's like, you know, it's one of those upbeat. Was it upbeat? I'm not obviously explaining Dazzle do it. Whenever you're playing Secret, if you see something that's too good to be true, it really goddamn is. Just leave it alone. Yeah. Move away. He loves these. I'm gonna put my tankiest hero up front and just. He loves this.
TB gonna be in a bit of trouble after the last few. Now Naga up, Orchid up, and Hart is on the way. 300-ish gold until he finished. Question arises. Unless he's on a really good roll with this farm pace. Fight the Naga doing over 10 CS a minute, 70 at 5 minutes, following close behind. Once another fight behind the Roche pit.
There's always difference, right? One is like he doesn't really farm that. One is not has her pesky illusions all over the map. Supposed to be up front. Blink Dagger actually changes things. When you get that blink on Abaddon, you just blink on top target, you manta.
Armel is hunting with Nimbus Rune, and they will catch the pot. Pulverize Orchid comes out onto the Monkey King as well. Trample damage with the onslaught. Enough to take down Yamage, and Puppy might just follow as well. Yes, he will. Supreme comes to help out Auditor for some extra. Drops down the coil. That's still 2,000 HP to burn through. Gorgeous. A siren broken as well. Look at Wild Crystal. This is hunting down the Earthshaker. Goes straight with the blink. Silence up. Nothing you can do. You're just constantly cursed. Now Viper tries to keep you away, but the damage is overwhelming. Double for crystals.
My friend, he just walked in. Said hi, died. Very unfortunate. And
I've seen that movie before today.
Yeah, and that's the problem, right? Like if you're playing this, if you're playing versus Abaddon, who's got Manta. Don't count on your spells. Like, don't count that you'll use them. Once he starts hitting you with illusions, you're silenced. With
this high ground push, they've got the Mortys flying in. And off Boom and Chrysalis for the time being.
Mortys. Rick and Mortys just dying.
Oh yeah, that would be great.
Or should she be riding a big giant lizard Morty? There's probably some there, but
I mean, depends. No, go to getting a sponsorship.
Wait, don't we have a
collaboration?
Don't we announcer? Morty announcer do, right?
Yeah, there is actually.
There you go.
part of the river. Yamas versus Shaker, and Shaker just doing
them.
whatever he can to survive, but it's going to be enough. And in the top lane, Boom, right next to Respect, with a stun onto the Spider. 3-man rotation. Webs should be connected to one of it. Oh. Oil snaps. So does Boom.
Got him.
They've actually imprinted that.
Just flying Morty head or full Mortys. What do you imagine?
And then they all scream.
There's an episode with big guy. No, that was like moon. Whatever. Never mind.
Naga actually side here. Still has Manta, Echo Slam holds the Abaddon at bay. Sibe trying to give up the buffs onto this Naga Siren, but the fight's getting split. Gotta get close to the Naga. Armel's gonna charge away Respect. However, in a very dangerous position, they take down Puppy, have forced out the ulti off of the Abaddons with borrowed time. Literally borrowed time right now. Kill him.
Nice.
Still pulverizer. Oh, the silence and Puck's in trouble. Does get pace to use though.
Yeah, it does.
Very.
It does silence you. Luckily, it doesn't nullify you, so lives.
That will be broken if you. Oh, but they're just gonna go straight in. Immersion doesn't get on the high ground. He's still stuck on the low ground. Oh boy.
Maybe they can.
Abaddon. Few more seconds for ulti. Armel charging and zoning out the rest.
I mean, 20 seconds on the Aegis, you don't even want to finish him off anymore, right?
To the high ground. Crystal is going to keep on diving. Pops his borrowed time. Meanwhile, the Sibe is going to be torn to shreds on the low ground. Dinosaurs, maces, spiders, chewing and nothing left of the fight.
I'm not sure, like they were hunting so hard for an Abaddon as an Aegis. Your Naga is still on the top lane. I guess that's a good thing, but overall it's not that great that you're giving them the network advantage. Not a huge one, not a massive one, only 5k 13 minutes in now. That's not as big as before, but
alright. Since you only see the PGM, it Puck's quick one.
Yeah.
But he's
oh, Dagon 5, let's go. Zap him. So you said before they tried to burst the Abaddon. I don't think that they can do it right now, but with Dagon 5, maybe you can burst him before his ult.
It's possible. Trouble though, getting chewed. Stuns connect onto Immersion. Shaker not feeling quite very healthy right now. Siba is like, oh hell no. Oh, he just turns around, goes back.
Ground push, or what's happening? Fuck, sleeping straight into them. Kinda dangerous.
Monka deep.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Tower.
Yeah, but they
Still have a cat. Gonna matter.
need to kill the Karti somehow.
How do you get the party?
And Dazzle versus Naga is actually like really good. Those illusions are just
life hard. Supreme's trying to get some damage done at the back line. Lincoln's popped. No poison touch being used though. Something else.
I love
Now
the
that they see the
discipline.
Lincolns, they need to get like a single target spell off before Dazzle throws in poison touch.
Yep. I love the discipline. Just falling back, take the side, go back, it's fine. Wait on the high ground with Boom. They are spread out though. This might be a kill here even if they commit to it.
Well, Morty's will connect just at the maximum range, and Broodmother trying to zigzag, but he's got pipe and greaves and will tank a lot of it. BKB used by Armel. Breaking loose. ITB, they need to win this one if they want to keep themselves alive in this game. Abaddon still getting to live a little bit longer with the borrowed time. BKB still available. Immersion's going to go down. Respect is all solo HP, but will go falling. And Shibe again, just isolating Crystallis with his BKB. Well, we'll get a couple hits onto the Naga, but no bash. Sadly, no basher.
Unfortunate, no basher, but yeah, they get baited the same way I got baited on the Brood this time around. I thought that maybe they'll dream call her a little bit earlier. The man gets all the way to the cliff. Like, you have a Brood on a cliff, you don't have enough damage, for sure.
the Hex this time onto the puck. This one, a sheep stick into the pulverize, and Supreme is dead. There's so many good things in the secret draft. One thing that I didn't actually talk about when they went for the first phase, Brood and the Dazzle to answer the Naga, they also have a pretty deadly heal bomb.
They do. The illusions from ABBA, the Broodlings. Heal bomb is...
Kind of insane.
Really
He's
is.
a tough. Charging in his Armel. Does get silenced up. Naga is going to end up taking some hits. Rookie save. Puck with the buyback. Supreme gets the coil up to 2. Does have the Dazzle and the Primal Beast, but they're also going to get out as that A on this will buy some time for Puppy. Still being controlled by Supreme. Supreme still right-clicking away. Will take down Puppy. Onto the high ground. Crystal is trying to fight back with the Shaker. Keep the Shaker at bay. No more fissures for you, sir. And another blinking from Crystal. The 3-man stun. Buys some time, at least to control it for a second. But the damage is just not sufficient. The Naga's in trouble on the low ground. And there's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to go. Surrounded by Secret. And they will lose the carry, Naga. Supreme has to blink away. And now the Racks are really in peril.
Anyone?
Continuing with the siege.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
You also talked about for the Abaddon.
Did he actually get it? Good.
Yep, bought it. It is in his stash. Link next. Pick it up, you know, the classic. Is your bottom lane of racks gone? 2 sets of racks taken by Secret. Another Hex onto the Viper. I think that's just a bit more for show from Boom. Waving his hand up.
They have a tier 2 on top lanes. That needs to be taken down first. You could wait for Rosh. It's up in like, what, 10 seconds? Like, you could go do that first. But, I mean, this game is over. Done and dusted. I don't see the way. Do you see the way?
Do I see the what?
The way? Because
The way?
Yeah, I don't see the way.
You know their way?
Show me the way. I see the way though, like I didn't have my protein shake this morning, so I'm a bit grumpy. I'm
All the
sorry.
way. Oh. I thought you were doing some kind of pun. I was like,
And I was. It's
Just
just that my bad Slavic accent doesn't translate that well. You need to know me a bit
it
better.
is completely fine, my friend.
Yes. Into the pit. Aegis and Shard, double damage on Abaddon because why not?
Not getting too much out of this Naga this game. Like, too many answers on the side of Secret.
Give him the rocks.
Just lacking damage.
Let him throw some rocks. But he's not gonna take
hell
it.
yeah.
He would have eaten it by now. He's gonna give it to oh, yeah, he's gonna give it to someone else. Who's getting the shot?
Madden? Oh yeah, missed coil dealing at Madden. Right, damage on impact, sure.
Increases Curse of Avernus base slow as well.
Missed the slow as well. You get
That's big.
35% now.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Slow, yeah, and first slows. That's get improved by a lot. First hit in and you're basically stuck low. King also stuck in the trees right now, but it's just a bait. Take down Respect, 2-man stun coming out. The Viper is in trouble. Will get pulverized with the BKB used, so Armel not interrupted, but Otaker, Supreme. This is the chance. This is the real fight they need to get. They don't get anything out. The coil's still unused as well. Targeting Puppy, wanting to take down the Dazzle. They're also going to worry about so many different things right now with Armel. He's stomping the ground, charging up with the Naga Siren. Otaker trying to take the fight. Flash comes out. Echo's time for him immersion. Is this the chance to take him out? It just stops doing enough damage. The sustain is too much to deal with an ITB. You're running out of tools. You're running out of answers. It's only questions from now on. Secret runs them down and forces out the GG from ITV. Secret takes game 1.
Nicely done by Secret. Like, from the moment I joined, obviously they were already ahead, so I didn't really see the full laning stage, but I couldn't imagine it. They just baited them out really nicely with that monkey pick. That's always how it is, right? Like, you have a spammer on your team, you pick his hero, and then you switch somewhere else.